Let us start this wonderful Facebook Live event again. I Slim Flat Tummies Day. A very good Saturday, my dear friends. Well, you all know that obesity or overweight, there are two important things as obesity and overweight. Both of them are not same for that matter actually. See, obesity and overweight are not single diseases. These are called as disorders, wherein they are actually a combination of all diseases actually. Obesity or overweight, when you see, is a combination of nearly 15 to 20 such disorders put together is called as obesity. So today I want to talk to you about one of the major things which is happening in India, which is called as paralysis stroke, and the reason for this being obesity. See, as you know that all Indus Viva products are frontline immune booster products. At the same point of time, you also know that preventive products, they are all preventive products in nature. So they actually protect your bodies. They prevent your bodies from afflicting with all kinds of illnesses in future. See, you must be knowing that obesity is also one of the major causes for this disease stroke. This is a very important thing which I am going to speak to you today. The other important thing is there is one of the ingredients which is present in the FB3 complex that is actually called as sesame or the sesame seeds that most of you are using in your houses. Well, it is having a repository of health benefits, especially the weight management, the overweight and obesity controlling attributes, which is actually attributed to the sesame seeds. So which I will be speaking about at the second point. So going ahead, my dear friends, as you all know, overweight and obesity are categorized based on a measure called as BMI, the body mass index. The World Health Organization has given the BMI in the following range. Suppose if a person is underweight, the BMI must be less than 18.5. If a person is said to be a normal weight person, the BMI must be between 18.5 to 24.9. If a person is said to be overweight, the BMI must be between 25 to 29.9. Well, there is one more important classification. See, all these things, three things what I told you right now, most of you might be knowing this. But the World Health Organization tries to amend these things now and then, often and again, based on some of the clinical trials which happen in the world. Now, the World Health Organization has come out with obesity and its BMI as three classes. There are three classes of obesity what the World Health Organization has put out. And this is what is actually prevailing in a country like India. India is not only the diabetic capital of the world these days, India is also becoming fat. This is what the most important thing is. So, obesity has three classes. The obesity normally means whenever there is a BMI of more than 30. This is what is exactly called as obesity. Well, class 1 obesity is a condition where the BMI is between 30 to 34.9. Class 2 obesity is categorized between 35 to 39.9, and class 3 obesity is categorized if the BMI is more than 40. See, this is exactly the amendment which is very alarming in nature, my dear friends. So this is where the whole country is heading to today. So we are in fact not only countering this pandemic of coronavirus these days, in future days in a country like India, diabetes will become a major pandemic. Your obesity and overweight will become a still major, a kind of a pandemic that can prevail around us. As I told you, obesity or overweight is not a single disease. It is actually a combination of various diseases. This is a very important thing. See, sometimes obesity can be there in your body. You might not look fat. You might be looking slim and thin. But the symptoms of obesity always prevails in your body, my dear friends. This is how obesity is actually categorized. I hope you got the point clear. So, going ahead, overweight or obesity leads to a lot of secondary complications. The first thing that you see is osteoarthritis. People always complain of joint pains whenever the weight gain or the obesity happens inside the body. Because the weight bearing joints in the body like the knee joint, the elbow joint or the shoulder joints, these are the pressure joints where more pressure will be there on the joints so that the people will suffer from inflammation and severe pain. This is how it exactly happens. Apart from this, the fatty liver disease. The most important thing which is happening in the whole world and even in India today is the fat in the liver. See, normally most of you people, most of the distributors I have seen here, or most of the customers or the prospects where we have seen the fatty liver is actually increasing a lot. This is because of the improper dietary habits and the consumption of processed fat. See, people have been consuming this processed fat for a long time now. It is not a simple fat which happens in 1 or 2 days, but this fat is happening over a period of time. That is the reason why it is called as liver fat or the fatty liver. That is also one of the important or major secondary complications which can happen because of overweight and obesity, my dear friends. Apart from this, the gallbladder disease or the gallstones are happening a lot. It is also because of the presence of severe fat in the body. You have high blood pressure. This is also a major point now. People in young ages are succumbing to this high blood pressure, and the reason behind this is obesity, my dear friends. See, the other important thing, whenever the blood pressure is there, the brothers and they're the brothers in arms actually. So you see even the type 2 diabetes happening most of the times in young ages these days. And along with that, the major two important things, the heart disease and ultimately the stroke which happens in the brain. See, these are all the secondary complications of overweight and obesity, my friends. So whenever you are promoting a product like iSlim in the market, you are not promoting a product only for managing the weight, but you are also promoting the product for managing the secondary complications, whatever I listed you right now. This is a very important thing, because iSlim is a product which is a preventive product in nature. You are not only cutting the weight with that or managing the weight with that, you are managing the other secondary conditions or associated conditions of overweight and obesity, my dear friends. I hope you got my point clear. So going ahead, see, there is a common relationship between overweight and obesity as well as the paralysis stroke. This is very important. The relationship is always there. Whenever a person is having severe obesity or overweight, there is always, or he or she is always vulnerable to be affected by this paralysis stroke, my dear friends. So what exactly happens? Stroke is a common disability and it is prevalent worldwide with health concern. It is usually reported in some of the scientific publications that it is the fourth leading cause of death in the United States. People in the United States are dying because it is the fourth leading cause of death in the US, especially the paralysis stroke, my dear friends. So obesity is the one which is actually a predisposing factor for this stroke. And 18 to 44% of stroke patients, if you see, the majority of clinical trials have been done across the world in which it has been seen that majority of these patients, 18 to 44% of these patients are usually afflicted with paralysis stroke, are having the symptoms of obesity, my dear friends. So this is how it goes on. Similarly, there are a lot of mechanisms which explain the role of fat, especially the obesity, in causing this atherosclerosis. In the sense, it is nothing but blocking of these arteries or blocking of the vessels in the brain, which actually leads to improper blood circulation and ultimately the stroke happens. This is how obesity can lead to stroke. So please be aware of this point, because stroke can also become a major disease in India in the future coming days, because people are always stressed up, their fat levels have increased a lot, and ultimately they are succumbing to a condition like stroke, my dear friends. I hope you got my point clear. So going ahead, again, as I told you, obesity is always causing stroke by the mechanism of atherosclerosis. In the sense, the fat builds up inside the arteries, because of which the blood circulation will be impaired, and because of this particular reason, the proper blood circulation to the parts of the brain is not served, because of which people can succumb to paralysis strokes. I hope you got my point clear. So although obesity has been cited a risk factor for stroke, few patients, especially of paralysis stroke, when they see the contour of the patient, or when they see the the physiology of the patient, their fat ratio, their triglyceride ratio, this is a very important thing, especially their bad fat as well as the triglycerides have increased like anything over a period of time. This is very important. Their fats and triglycerides, their bad fats and triglycerides to be more specific, have increased over a period of time, leading to this dreadful condition like stroke in the future, my dear friends. So as I've been telling you all the times, our products are called as preventive and protective products. You are not only giving the products for maintaining or managing the weight, at the same point of time you are giving the product for protecting against the secondary conditions of these diseases, my dear friends. So you are doing a lot with one product, actually, not one activity. I hope you got my point clear. So going ahead, my dear friends, so there is always a relationship between COVID-19 as well as stroke also. See how the science is actually going towards relating everything with the pertaining the COVID-19 scenario these days. This is very important. Doctors and physicians across the world have been researching on how people as young as 30 years old are experiencing stroke, especially after they are afflicted with a condition like COVID-19. See how the world is going around. Now the COVID-19 is coming and it goes at some point of time, but the damage it has done to the human race is very, very bad. Even after so many years of suffering with this particular pandemic, people can be suffering from all kinds of secondary infections like diabetes and stroke, my dear friends. I hope you got the point clear. We are in a crucial COVID-19 pandemic era right now. So probably in the future days when the lockdown opens up, again, people are exposed to outside world where these secondary infections, secondary diseases can crop up. So that is the reason why it is always important for us to consume the wellness products which has holistic health benefits. Automatically with the holistic health benefits, they can protect your bodies in 100% way so that you will not be suffering from any kinds of dreadful diseases in future, my dear friends. I hope you got my point clear. So going ahead, coronavirus, heart disease and stroke. See how the world is going on. The doctors these days are also researching a lot on the relationship between the coronavirus, the heart diseases, and ultimately the stroke. See how the dots are being joined actually across the world. Now the people and big companies are now venturing in researching on the secondary complications of this dreadful disease coronavirus. See, the virus comes and goes as I told you, but the secondary complications that it creates is very hazardous in nature. So to get rid of all these things is a very important thing, and that can happen only with the help of wellness supplements which can give you 100% protection as well as immunity to the body. And that is the main reason why I am quoting it again and again, often and again, stating that all our Indus Viva products are frontline immune boosting products. I hope you got my point clear, my dear friends. So going ahead, as I told you, the second important point that I'm going to speak here today is about the concept of sesame seeds. As you know that Ice Slim Flat Tummy's bar is actually having a combination of three important herbs. Initially they were called as FP3 complex. Now we call them as synergistic botanical extracts. They include the Coleus forstoli, the Salacia reticulata and the Sesamum indicum. So today I am going to talk about a very, very simple ingredient that is present in your kitchen, which is actually used for culinary purposes, mainly the sesame seeds, the sesame seeds. They are also called as gingerly or the till seeds. So what exactly is the importance of this wonderful ingredient, my dear friends? See, most of you might be using this in your houses. So probably during the festival times in India, especially during your Sankranti or the Pongal or the Bihu, so whatever the the harvesting festivals which happen in India, people are normally using these till seeds or the gingerly seeds. There is a lot of importance to this, my dear friends. This is because this particular till or the gingerly seeds have a wonderful ingredient or a chemical composition called as sesamin and sesamolin. There are two important chemical components which are present in this till seeds called as sesamin and sesamolin, which are known for reducing the cholesterol. This is very important. There are two important things called as sesamin and sesamolin, which are known for reducing the cholesterol which is present in the body, my dear friends. So that is the reason why sesame seeds are known for reducing cholesterol. See, as you know, sesame is a small plant. Sesame is a very small plant which is grown across India and across the world. But you might not be knowing some of the features of this wonderful plant. Lots of research have been done on this plant, especially for Alzheimer's, anemia, arthritis, heart disease, prevention of the cataracts, constipation, high cholesterol, infertility, menopause, osteoporosis, ulcers, stroke and weight loss. See, this is how a wonderful, small, a very common ingredient is actually helping us in getting rid of so many health problems, my dear friends. I hope you got my point clear. So, not only that, in fact, the sesame seeds, if you see, has a lot of health benefits like facilitates digestion, it keeps the kidney healthy, heart healthy, it reduces inflammation in the body, it reduces hypertension, it protects from radiation, it boosts your metabolic function, it improves bone health, it also effectively combats diabetes, it also facilitates hair and skin care. These are all the benefits of sesame seed. See, that is the reason why sesame is one of the important ingredients which is actually used in Ice Slim bar, which can effectively cut down your bad cholesterol as well as the triglycerides, my dear friends. I hope you got my point clear. So going ahead, so in fact sesame seed oil that is produced out of the sesame seed, we call it as a sesame oil or the till oil or the gingerly oil. This is a very important oil even for reducing the risk of heart diseases, my dear friends. You all know that obesity and overweight is always related to the heart. So consumption of Ice Slim bar which is rich with sesame seeds always helps to protect your heart also. This is also a very important thing that everyone needs to know, my dear friends. So as you know, sesame is a very important thing which is present in our product Ice Slim Bar, which is also a source of sesamin and sesamolin, which are nothing but a kind of fatty acids that we have. And a lot of studies across the world, if you see, sesame is actually used for the controlling of cholesterol. This is very important. If someone is speaking about Ice Slim Flat Tummies Bar tomorrow in a VOP or wherever on the platforms you have, the digital platforms or on the physical platforms, you can definitely quote this. Sesame seeds which are present in Ice Slim Bar is a very good cholesterol reducing agent which can reduce your bad cholesterol as well as the triglycerides, my dear friends. I hope you got my point clear. So I'll be ending the short session of this Ice Slim Flat Tummies Bar by again stating that one has to consume Ice Slim Flat Tummies Bar in between 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the night by having an optional light dinner by 6 p.m. That is the best way to consume Ice Slim Bar. I always suggest you to consume 3.5 to 4 liters of water every day in order to detoxify, facilitate the detoxification process inside the body, my dear friends. So as you all know, even if a person is suffering from diabetes, Ice Slim Bar can be given in order to reduce or manage the weight. It can also be given in a patient suffering from blood pressure, either it is low or high blood pressure. It can also be used during the first 6 months of pregnancy. It can also be used during the lactation phase after the childbirth. That is only after the first month. For the first month should not be given. From the second month onwards, Ice Slim Flat Tummies Bar can be given, my dear friends. It can also be given during the thyroid problems, heart diseases, people with psychiatric illnesses, especially people with psychiatric illnesses always are prone to taking of the antidepressants which can lead to weight gain. This can also be curtailed with this, and of course the skin problems can also be tried with this Ice Slim Bar. So this is how the Ice Slim Bar has to be used, my dear friends. I hope you got my points clear. So this was what about the short topic I wanted to speak about, the relevance of obesity as well as stroke. And the second important thing is about the sesame seeds. I hope you have got the knowledge of 2 important promotional tips that I have given you so that you can use this effectively in the field in order to explain about the product in a scientifically validated and a logical way, my dear friends. So this is a question answer time now. So I will be taking the questions which were asked last week first. So followed by the next week's questions. So the first question that I am seeing here is, can we address excess fat on shoulder or stomach or hips? As I told you, Ice Slim Flat Tummies is a product which is positioned for holistic weight management support. This is a very important thing, the holistic weight management support, which means that the fat is dispersed across the body actually. The fat is actually dispersed across the body. So wherever the fat is accumulated, the bad fat is accumulated, it is always important for the person to consume Ice Slim Flat Tummies Bar. It is not localized on one particular region, my dear friend. I hope you got my point clear. So the next thing is, I am a working person following the instructions given by you, but how the weight gain can be managed? As I told you, my dear friends, one can also log into our website www.i-slim.in, wherein we have actually figured out a very good diet chart which is for the vegetarians as well as the non-vegetarians, where you can follow this diet chart as well as your lifestyle changes coupled together. Definitely the weight management can be brought in at a very early phase. I hope you got my point clear. So the next important thing is, some people have less weight but only have excess fat on the back. Can we suggest this product? Absolutely yes. Even though they are, see, that is what I was trying to tell in the beginning of this session. Obesity is a condition not only related to how you look, but you might look lean, but still you will have the obesity symptoms, my dear friend. That is the reason why I am trying to tell you, you can suggest Ice Slim Flat Tummies Bar even in such conditions. Well, the last question of the last week that I am taking here is Ice Slim helpful for weight loss for lifetime or temporary? This is very important. Well, as I told you, wellness products at least for a period of 3 months have to be used in order to, in order for better absorption inside the body, my dear friends. So better if you can continue for longer durations also, there is absolutely no adverse effects or side effects. It is not for a temporary weight loss or a permanent weight loss. Always, whenever the weight loss happens, again it is left to you to maintain the diet and lifestyle so that the weight is maintained. That is what is exactly called as weight management. Once the weight is reduced, it is in your hands to maintain your diet and lifestyle so that your weight is maintained across. I hope you got my point clear. So The next important thing that I'm seeing here is another question. Uh, Another question that I'm seeing here, a person of 99 kgs, how long this to be used and what would be the effect like? See, this is a very important thing. See, one important thing I want to tell you here is definitely, so people who are about 99 kgs or above 80 kgs, as I told you, the World Health Organization has already come up with an amendment of categorizing obesity into three important classes. So these are the people who are coming under obesity class 2 or class 3 where the BMI is more than 35. This will definitely take a bit of time to cut down the fat, my dear friends. I would suggest you to consume at least iSlim bar for a period of 6 months at least at a rate of 2 bars a day, which will definitely improve the condition. Coupled with your diet and lifestyle is always important, my dear friends. I hope you got my answer clear. So this is how you have to use that. So the next important question that I am seeing here is, okay, I lost 7 kgs in 2 months. My visceral fat and LDL are also decreased. I have the proofs as well. Well, definitely, if you have some good testimonies with you, it is always important that you share your testimonies with us, so that it is always important for our repository to fill with the testimonies also. Thank you for providing your testimonies also. So thank you very much for this. So I think these were the questions for the day actually. If your questions are left unanswered, I would actually try to take your questions on next Saturday, which is again called as an iSlim Flat Tummies Day. So definitely you can pose me your questions so that the unanswered questions will be answered the next week as well, my dear friends. So thank you very much for your patient listening again. So this is Dr. Balu Kolar, Head of Product Development and Training, signing off from the desk at the Viva Tower, Indus Viva Health Sciences Corporate Office at Bangalore. Thank you very much. Have a nice day and have a nice weekend ahead. Thanks a lot.